All right, Coach. Sweeping Cameron this past weekend, but you guys seem to have a couple late inning struggles, just giving up some runs late. What was that about, really?
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed with our bullpen. Listen, obviously a lot of that is, they're just not getting on the mound enough right now, and we know that. We're really fighting to try to find innings for some of our guys, and they're just not real sharp right now. The stuff is there, it's just we're missing a spot here or there, and obviously, Cameron took advantage of that late in, Game 4, but a lot of that hopefully is just them not getting out on the mound enough. Again, we've got to find innings for those guys, and we got a lot of really good arms. The problem with it is our starters are doing an outstanding job going deep into games. Joe, I think, had a complete game on Friday, and then Darren Cook had another outstanding start, and then Mesker, we kind of pulled Mesker. Really, he was throwing a shutout. We pulled him just to kind of get some other guys some innings as well, and then Dixon, was throwing outstanding, and we took him out just because a little bit pitch count-wise and just kind of to monitor his arm, but really just to try to get some of these other guys innings and get them on the mound, because we're going to have those guys, and they're going to have to be a lot better than what they were this past weekend. But a lot of the guys did step up. Austin Gale, he hadn't had a lot of innings this past year, and he was outstanding. He came in with bases loaded in I believe it was the 7th inning, and it was a close ball game at that point in time, and got a huge strikeout, and then came back in the 8th and had another really good inning that inning as well.
And so it's a give and take as well, because these last couple of games you've had your pitchers do well, but offensively you really did well against the Aggies.
Yeah, offensively I thought we were pretty solid this past weekend. Again, still leaving quite a few guys on base, and bases loaded is still a struggle for us. I think I've said that every single weekend, but every single weekend it's a struggle. And the next 8 games are going to be huge for us. Obviously this weekend we go to Kingsville. It's a place that we've had troubles in the past. I don't know if since I've been here, if we've ever went down there and won a series. So it's a huge weekend on the road. It's a long trip down there, but we got to bring our A game down there. They're going to be a tough club.
Just now starting conference play, just kind of tell the mentality of the team a little bit more.
Yeah, every game's important. I think we're 24 games into the season right now, but those are all in-region games, extremely important. Listen, our goal is to hopefully host another regional and then obviously win that regional. But in order to do that, you have to be good in these non-conference games as well. But now obviously going into conference, we've got 24 conference games, and it's going to be a grind. Every game is going to be a one-run game, and we got to play it like that. We've got to execute really well. We've got to be able to execute bunts and do things that we hadn't been great at this year.
Kingsville is a very aggressive team on the base pass, and so how do you kind of counteract that with your great pitching staff?
Well, hopefully, we've done a pretty good job of minimizing the running game as of now. Our pitchers are pretty quick to the plate. We're just going to have to talk about that all year, but we've got 3 really good catchers that do a great job of controlling the running game. Clay's done an outstanding job, Kyle, and then Tag when he's gotten in there. Listen, I'm not too concerned about that. Obviously, we've got to do a good job of holding them on, picking off, being quick to the plate, but then our catchers behind the plate will hopefully shut it down.
You were talking about the runners in scoring position. You guys were having some issues, but I was there for that 7-run inning yesterday. Do you think that kind of getting some momentum to helping the batters, being like, oh?
Man, I hope so. That'd be nice. And it's not us offensively. If you look, we're hitting close to 360. We're getting guys on base, and that's something that we talk about. I've always said, listen, I don't mind leaving base runners on base, because that means at least you've got opportunities to drive them in, and eventually you're going to drive some of those guys in. But what is frustrating the most is those nobody out and bases loaded, and we hit a grounder and stuff that we talk about all the time, because in those situations we're looking to get to the bottom half of the baseball, and we're swinging at bad pitches, just trying to do too much in those situations, and for some reason it's just kind of a bad thing that's going on all year.
Coach, you look at this season's conference schedule, much different than last season's, where it seems like you had some of the weaker teams to start off. You start off with Kingsville and Angelo State right off the bat. Does it pose potentially an advantage to start your conference slate off with 2 strong opponents?
It's a grind, but listen, I don't know who's really that strong. Obviously we know typically, Kingsville made it to the World Series last year. Angelo's always one of the top teams in the country, but Tarleton, UTPB, Cameron, Eastern, we're all good in this conference. I always say, listen, the conference is going to be decided between 1 or 2 games. Every year it's that way. We got to look at it. We've got 24 conference games, and we got to look at game 1 first.